Yes, I have loved you with an everlasting love, an everlasting love, an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn you, drawn you, drawn you.
All right, we're recording.
Okay, hello people. Today we're going to talk about depression, and I wanted to say a few things about it, and then we're going to introduce Lauren. She finally made it here after all she went through with her sickness and her teeth and everything. Everything stopped her for a long time, but we finally got her here. So anyway, I just wanted to say that depression is not a weakness. It is an illness like anything else. It is not selfish or cowardly, like so many people try to say. No one has to suffer with depression. There should be no shame in seeking help with this any more than any other illness that you would go to a doctor for when you're suffering with any other type of illness. People usually don't judge you if you have a physical problem and you go to a doctor for help. But then when you have a mental illness and depression, they act like, well, what do you need a doctor for? And I've had people tell me, well, what do you need a therapist for? Just go to the Lord in prayer, like everything's spiritual. Well, and I like to say, well, if your car breaks down, are you just going to pray about it, or are you going to take it to a mechanic? And God works through people, and He uses counselors, He uses all kinds of people and help, just like He would for anything else. And sometimes medicine is required because it can affect our brains. There can be chemical imbalances, and I've had to be on antidepressants, and they've really helped me cope. And then, of course, I've gotten therapy besides that. But anyway, I just wanted to say that it's nothing anybody should be ashamed of. And yet there is such a stigma with any type of mental illness. This is something we've got to put a stop to. We cannot shame people for needing help. And we have our friend Lauren now, and she's here because she wants to share her story to help others who may be suffering with this illness. So I'm going to let her start sharing, and we're going to talk to her and discuss things and maybe ask her further questions that might be helpful.
I've probably been dealing with depression probably since my early 30s. And since my aunt passed in 16, it kind of got worse because I was so close with her, did everything for her, with her. So that was hard to deal with. Things that help me, like our journaling, that helps. Getting out your feelings so you're not holding it in, because that's not healthy. Holding your feelings and get it out somehow. Like go for a walk, do things that help, do things for you that help you. Don't be afraid to share your story at all. There's no shame in it. You're not alone.
Right.
Some days are harder than others, especially with winter coming up, which it doesn't help at all.
Yeah.
Winter makes it worse, I think.
Yes.
I hate winter. I don't look forward to it. It makes it worse, especially during COVID. Oh my God, that was the worst.
That
time.
was really hard on a lot of people, and there was a lot of suicide during that time because everybody was cut off from everybody else that could have been a support to them.
Yeah.
So that was hard on everybody.
Yeah.
But I
It was
remember
bad.
that you did have some losses that were really rough on you.
Yeah.
And I remember when I do remember when your aunt died, but I also remember too that your mom's uncle that was over at the
Wilshire?
yeah,
Yeah.
and you always wanted to be able to play the piano for him, and we were about to have a recital over there, and you were really hoping he'd get to hear you, and then he passed away before you could even do it.
Yeah.
And I remember how sad you were at the recital that he wasn't there to listen to you.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of disappointment, a lot of grief. And
Yeah.
you really had several people in your life that you've lost, and you lost like one right after the other for a while there.
Yeah.
So yeah, loss can contribute
Yeah.
to it.
Big time.
And a lot of the reason why winter's hard is not only because we're cooped up and isolated
Yeah.
a lot, but also we need sunlight.
Yeah.
And if we don't
Yeah.
get enough, now there's something that I do that I learned, which is a technique to help me in the winter. And I was told this in a group that if you get full spectrum lighting, or even if you don't have it now, I have full spectrum lighting on some of my lamps now, but because it's just like sunlight.
Yeah.
But also, if you can't do that, just turning on as many lights as you can, because it gets darker and you're not getting enough sunlight, and that really helps with your mood
It does.
when you do things like that. So, anyway, I wanted all three of us to discuss how can we recognize the signs in ourselves or even other people when we're starting to slip into depression and we're getting to where we feel like we can't talk about it because we're so sad.
Yeah, people don't talk about it because of judgment. They're afraid you're going to get judged. That's why people are so hush-hush about it. Like,
Yes.
don't do that.
Yes, see, that was another thing I had written down here, that no more of this hush-hush,
Yeah.
And saying, don't talk like that. People will shame you and say, don't talk like that. People need to talk about it.
Yeah.
They need to talk about their feelings and not be ashamed to open up and get the help and support they need.
And they need someone to listen to them, not judge them. And it helps, too, to talk to somebody who's going through depression. Know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Makes it so much easier to talk about it.
So they don't say, well, what's wrong with you? I don't get depressed. I mean, that's just the worst thing you can tell somebody.
Yeah, especially if they don't understand it. It just makes it more frustrating.
Yeah. And now, Chastity, you've been through some depression, too.
Yeah, you have.
Could you share a little bit about what the signs were for you when you knew that you were needing help?
Yeah, well, one of the things is I tend to get more withdrawn when I'm depressed because I don't feel like there's anyone who really understands the things that upset me,
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But, yeah, so one of the signs for me personally is that I will just, I won't be calling my friends even if they call me or whatever. I won't reply to emails. I won't even be posting on Facebook, whatever. Like, usually I'm posting, video games or computer programming, but when I get really depressed, I can't even enjoy my games. But another thing that happens, one time I was at work and something happened. We were talking about something, and for whatever reason, I just talked about that I hoped that I died,
Yeah, we all think that.
That's
one of the signs.
Yeah, and I was just talking with my coworkers, and I made some joke about, well, hey, if I die, at least I won't have to pay off my student loans or whatever, But then I got to thinking later, here I am joking about dying, and that's not like me, because I don't usually do that unless I'm actually suicidal level.
Yeah.
And I've had issues with that the past year, especially because of abuse by one of my team leads,
Yeah.
and the way he was harassing me repeatedly. So it's frustrating, but I find that there's things that bother me that I can't talk to people because they won't understand.
Yeah, same here.
And then those who do understand those same things are just scattered throughout the world. The people I know only through the internet. for example, I know my friend Pafo would understand me being upset about the way humans treat animals, for example. He'll understand that, and so does another friend that I have who he actually tried to commit suicide this past year, and I thought he was dead for a while, and I was really upset. Turns out that his brother had stopped him, so he's alive. But it's just a lot of stuff has been going on, recently.
Yeah.
So it's gotten me down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And see, part of it, that the reason why the suicide rate is so high with LGBT people is because so many of them are being rejected even by their own families.
Mm-hmm.
And that person you were just referring to, that is what was going on with him, is he didn't feel like he could talk to anybody. He's kind of stuck in
that way.
He's stuck in a family that doesn't understand, and he can't get out because he has physical limitations.
Yeah.
And so he's just stuck there with people he can't talk to that don't understand him. And the only outlet he has is to talk online or to talk to Chastity or some of it. He only has a few friends that really understand.
And
so do I.
It also can be very dangerous for him because when he does talk online, then sometimes there's mean bullies online who say horrible things, and so and the internet's supposed to be a safe haven, but then it's not.
It's not.
There's some mean people there too.
There is.
Yeah, people get like in chat rooms that actually tell them to kill themselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time, Chastity, a long time ago, that's all you did was talk to, you only had friends online. Mm-hmm. And one of them was telling you should do everybody a favor and kill yourself. And I told you, I said, you know what, you need some new friends. If your friends are saying things like that, and sure enough, I said, do you know anybody at work or somewhere that you could hang out with? And back then, you said, well, there is this guy named Lucas.
Yeah.
So you talked to him, and he was shy and having trouble making friends, and you found a really good friendship and spent a lot of time going over there because you didn't live very far away.
I miss him. I haven't seen him in a while.
I know you've been too busy, but you used to play games together, and his whole family's been so nice. Mm-hmm. And so you just needed to come out of your shell and be willing to reach out to somebody until you found the right kind of friends. See, people that talk to you like that are not friends.
No,
at
they're
all.
not. No.
And you need to really watch out and stay away from people that are going to bring you down like that.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
Anyway, now you were sharing about that it started with the loss of your aunt, but was there anything else happening that kind of made it more? Now you mentioned COVID too.
Yeah, COVID was probably the worst time.
But I know even before that, you ended up having to go get help and counseling.
Yeah.
And that really helped you, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
So I'm really glad you had that before COVID hit us all like it did.
Yeah, I hated COVID. I didn't think things were going to get better.
I know.
I kept wondering if I'm ever going to get back to piano.
I know.
I just wanted to be done so I didn't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are times during COVID where I just suicidal because I didn't think things were going to get better.
I know.
It was horrible.
It looked like it never was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, it was really sad for me about that I had to quit teaching too, because I had a lot of students, including Lauren. She's been my student for a long, long time. And I was told I had to quit having anybody come here during COVID. And then even when I was about ready to go ahead and start, then I was forced to move out of this apartment while they remodeled and whatever, and then to move back in. And I was a mess. And
I bet.
And I was having all kinds of problems with my manager here. And so that added to the stress of COVID. And every time I tried to get back, to teaching again, something would go wrong. And then they damaged my piano, during the move, and then I thought it would never be okay. But then I finally found somebody that was able to get it working again. And now, most recently, the problem I'm having is I'm having nerve problems with my hand, and I can't play either of my instruments.
That could get really depressing.
Yeah, and so it's going to take a while for me to get all the help I need to where I can start playing again. But Lauren still comes for lessons,
Yeah.
and even though
It's
she
good therapy. Mhm.
she used to love playing duets with me, and I did too. Well, now we can't really do that, but she still keeps trying to play her own songs. And now I have to go have this other surgery, and that's going to take me time to be out for a while. So we're going to have to put it on hold again. But she just hangs in there, and I keep hanging in there. And she was the first one I let know when I was finally able to start teaching again. Because I've had her so long, and I know how much she loves her piano lessons. And so it's really good to have her back, and with all the trials that we've all been going through, and then just recently her sickness and all, she never gets that sick, and so she was like sick for weeks, and then she was supposed to get her teeth pulled, and they couldn't even do that because she was coughing so hard. She finally got that done, and you're still dealing with a lot of pain from
A little
that.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, but you did take your
Yeah.
pill before you took your medicine, okay? Because because she's been still having trouble with that. But whenever we're going through a lot of different things like that, it gets overwhelming,
It does.
and then you're like, you do start feeling hopeless.
Yeah.
And like she was
That's how you-
saying, she thought it was never going to end. And as long as you think it's never going to end, it's just you just want to give up.
Yeah, I wanted to give up during COVID. It's like, I was done. I'm tired of it.
I know. And a lot of people got very, very depressed. So, yeah, I'm sure people out there that are listening to us know exactly what we're talking about because it affected so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, we have things going on in the world that are making it hard for people.
Yeah.
Because at the time we're recording this, the government shut down and people are losing some of their assistance. And it's just ridiculous, the kind of things that upset people and scare people, and it's hard to hang on and have hope. And so we have to find ways to encourage ourselves during those times. So, Chastity, do you have any more ideas of how you encourage yourself?
Well, I mean, my methods are unconventional because it seems that to me, doing things that I'm good at is what cheers me up.
Yeah.
Because whether it's playing chess or computer programming or working on some book or maybe sometimes even watching some silly movie or something like that, So I don't know. Which it doesn't really do anything to address the things that are bothering me. But I also did set myself up with a therapist.
Yeah.
Also, so I have someone I can talk to about some things.
So you're going to start meeting with that person this coming week.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. So, and it's hard to get the right therapy because Chastity had a therapist that she ended up having to fire because they were getting really ridiculous. And then she was just so busy, and now she has good insurance through working at Walmart, which helps match her up with the doctors she needs. And they just recently found somebody to work with her that's LGBT friendly, because you don't want to go to a counselor that's going to tell you, oh, you're just bad, you need to change. So you got to have somebody supportive.
Yeah.
And so they helped find somebody. And if some doesn't work out with a therapist or whatever, you just got to keep trying.
Yeah,
Just
don't
try
give up on
until
yourself.
you find just the right kind of help. Yeah, don't blame yourself if they're not treating you right, because they're human too, and they're going to mess up. And some of them have bad attitudes. You want to find just the right kind of person. And like you said, not give up on yourself.
Yeah.
'Cause
You need-
that's important. We shouldn't give up on ourselves just because other people are doing things they shouldn't do. So I've had that problem where I take too much responsibility for things other people do wrong, and I think that's because as a child I was made to feel like everything was my fault. And so that's why I'm still in that habit. If I have a conflict with somebody, I'll think, well, was there more I could have done to keep that from happening? But if I did all I could do, I'm not responsible for what that other person does or how they react to me. And it's not like I'm picking a fight with them, but if they're saying mean stuff to me, that's not my fault. And I've had to keep working at, being assertive and not taking in that blame of what other people do. We can only control what we do. We can't control what other people
Right.
do. And we wish we could, don't we? We couldn't, wouldn't it be nice if we could just force that other person to say they're wrong, apologize, and quit doing it?
Yeah.
But none of us can control other people.
Mm-mm.
And that's hard to accept sometimes, but that's part of learning not to blame yourself for everything. So anyway, I looked up some numbers because, we'd mentioned this on one of the podcasts that they cut off the government support of the Trevor Project, which is for LGBT youth. And they used to have it so when you call 988, there was a special number you could dial to get a counselor that dealt with that kind of issue and wouldn't put you down for it. And they took that away. So I looked everything up, and I actually already had a couple of the numbers, and I made sure they were correct. And, I've advertised this book before that I've written called The Many Sides of Suicide. And in the back of it, I had a couple of phone numbers for people to call. And I found another one, too, when I was looking all this up, because, of course, now it's 988 for the general population. But now you have to dial specific numbers to be able to reach someone that understands the LGBT issues and can be more supportive of you. And so by now, most people are familiar with 988, but I'm actually going to read some other phone numbers. So if you have something to write them down and you ever need to call for extra help, then you'll have that. And like Lauren said, most people have cell phones they can type it into, and that will help. I'm still not good at using a cell phone, so I always write everything down. But whatever, I'm going to read these off. There's 3 different ones. I had written these 2 in there, and then I found another one that's for seniors who are LGBT. And I didn't even know they had that till I looked that up. But first of all, the general gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender national hotline is 1-888-843-4364. And I'm going to repeat that. 1-888-843-4364. And then my eye's not very good. I should have put my glasses on. Is that a 3 or a 5?
That's a 3.
Okay, I thought I might have been reading it wrong, and I didn't want to do that. Okay, I'm going to read that one more time. 1-888-843-43. Is that a 6?
It's 4564.
Oh, it is a 5. Okay, I'm going. Yeah, I couldn't tell if that. You were looking at this one. I couldn't tell if that was a 5 or not. Chastity, will you go get my glasses so I can read this
Where
right?
are your glasses at?
They're on the table over there.
Okay.
because I usually try to put them on and I forgot it, and I want to make sure I'm reading these numbers correctly.
Yeah, otherwise who knows what people are going to get when they call.
I know, and call and say, hey, are you the counselor to help?
No, I'm Barney Bumblebee.
Oh man, there's a story behind that one.
Yeah, it's a whole other
Okay.
story.
I can see it now. All right, let me try this again. Okay, 1-888-843-4564. I thought that might be a 5, but I should have had my glasses on. Okay, I'm going to read that one more time now that I got it right. 1-888-843-4564. And then the one that's for youth in particular, called the Trevor Lifeline for LGBTQ youth. And I'll tell you the reason that name, there was a teenager who was gay, and he got so condemned by his family and disowned and everybody, and he finally gave up and killed himself. And then once his parents understood better, they started an organization to help, teenagers like that. And so they call this the Trevor Lifeline after their son. Anyway, for that one, that's for LGBTQ youth, that's 1-866-488-7386. And I'll read that one again too. 1-866-488-7386. So if you no longer have the option to press another number to talk to somebody that would understand those issues, that's the number to call. And so I'm going to read that one more time, and then I'll tell you about the third one I found. So this is the one for the youth, 1-866-488-7386. And then the one I found when I looked up on their website, they also have an LGBT National Senior Hotline. So if somebody doesn't want to talk to somebody more geared toward youth, but they're a little bit older, and so they need somebody a little more mature to talk to them, but they're LGBT that they identify, they may feel like they don't have anybody to talk to. So their number is 1-888-234-7243. And I'll read that again too. 1-888-234-7243. So, that means there's options. Should I read that one more time too? I'm usually reading these 3 times.
You might as well.
Okay, 1-888-234-7243. So that gives some more options, and we're just going to keep fighting back against all the discrimination that's preventing people from getting the help they need, and to push back against all that shame and all the horrible things that are going on in this world that's getting everybody even more depressed.
Mm-hmm. And depression doesn't affect you. It affects your family, your friends, your teachers, your coworkers. And if they don't know the signs and symptoms of depression and suicide, then we can't help each other out.
Yeah. So we talked about one of those as being withdrawn. If somebody's withdrawn and doesn't want to talk to anybody, like Chastity was sharing.
Yeah, you feel like you can't reach out to anybody, you can.
Yeah, so you isolate and you don't really talk to your friends anymore.
Yeah.
If you see somebody like that you've known and they're not talking anymore, you know something's really going on.
Reach out, check on your friends and family every day.
Yeah.
You never know.
And let them talk about it.
Yeah.
And don't shame them, and don't say, well, don't talk like that. That's the worst thing you do. Welcome them talking about it and listen.
Listen, especially.
Yes, really listen.
We didn't choose this.
Right. That's why I was saying no one would choose.
No.
to be depressed. It's not a happy experience. In fact, it's just
No.
the opposite. So why would anybody choose
You
to go through that?
you can't just snap out of it. Doesn't work like that.
I even had somebody one time tell me, depression is a choice.
No, it's not.
And I said, who would choose that?
It's not a choice. It's a real illness.
Yes, it is.
Because I remember when my aunt first passed, a few weeks later was her birthday, and she wasn't here. So the day after her birthday, I think I told you this, I was angry that she wasn't here. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to cut myself. I think I told you that. Mm-hmm. But I didn't. I reached out to somebody instead, and you can too.
Yeah. When you're in emotional pain, it's easy to take it out on yourself because you don't feel like you can talk to anybody else
Yeah,
that understands. So then you start self-harming
Mm-hmm.
and, turning it against yourself. And we all need to know there's still people out there that we can hang on to for support.
Even if you don't feel it, there is help out there.
Yeah. Yeah. So we hope that we're an encouragement to you and anybody that's going through anything like that. And as always, you can send us, comments and, ask questions or whatever. And I know a lot of times Chastity gets certain questions and comments. And then she sends them to me because I guess more people know her because she's had like a blog forever, and people are more familiar with her podcasts and stuff. I'm just not very good at technology, so that's why I have to rely on her. But she makes sure I know about it too. If anybody has a concern, something that they need to talk about, and I imagine there's a lot of people out there that are going through this.
Especially going through grief, that makes it worse.
Yes, because you feel such a loss.
You do.
And you feel like you can't go on.
Yeah.
With
Because
it.
I've lost my aunt, I lost a friend a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's been hard. Grief gets you.
Well, and sometimes it's not even because somebody died, but because somebody rejects you and they won't talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can hurt worse than even a death.
Yeah. We both, Chastity and I, have been through that quite a bit. A lot of rejection from people that supposedly cared about us and were our friend and then turned against us. So that's painful too. Any kind of loss.
Yeah.
It's really hard to go through that. And if you feel alone, no one to go through it with you, it's easy to just give up. So, but we don't want to give up, do we?
No, suicide's not the answer. It doesn't end the pain.
No.
It just passes it on to somebody else.
That's true. That's true, because then people grieve when they lose us, and we think that they won't because we don't feel like we're that important when we're in that state of mind.
Yeah, some days I still feel like that. You just never know when it's going to trigger.
Yeah. If we don't feel like we're that important to anybody, then we'll think, well, it's no big deal. But we don't realize more people care about you than you know, and they would be just devastated to lose you, and that you're more of an impact on people's lives than you even know. Sometimes people don't express it, or they don't know how to express it, but they see your life, and you can be an inspiration. And more people like you than you know, too. People just don't express it in our culture very much.
Yeah.
And say how much we appreciate somebody. And we just seem to take everybody for granted because we live in a cold culture that just doesn't warm up to anybody or, express their feelings and their warmth and their love for one another. I think part of it's because we're taught, we're going to get misunderstood.
Yeah, that's what people don't talk about. Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, because the way a lot of people are treated, especially out in the world by, employers and coworkers, is that you're just there as business to make money, but you don't matter as a person. It's like, well, if this person dies, we'll just replace them with another, like we're replaceable. Because in the corporate world, that's all we are, is just wage slaves. Like, we're just one person's interchangeable with another as far as the eyes of society. Mm-hmm. so it's only it's only our loved ones, like our friends, family, or people who happen to know us on the internet. Otherwise, those are the only people who give us any validation that we actually matter. And like for the most part, all I have is my mom.
Yeah.
If I didn't have my mom, I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah.
And you always have me to reach out to.
Yeah, I often forget,
Yeah.
I never see you.
I know. You guys have missed each other.
You can always text.
Yeah. We love Lauren, but she probably didn't know how much because we've all been just too cut off from one another for
Yeah.
so long.
It's like you can still be in a room full of people and still feel so alone. You just feel ignored.
Yeah.
And it sends those thoughts to your head that should not be in your head.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It doesn't take much for people to trigger those
Yeah.
things in your head that shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
We don't feel connected to other people
Yeah.
like we need to.
And it's like, what's the point of being around people
Yeah.
when you're going to be ignored anyway?
Well,
But
Yeah.
still,
yeah. Well, for example, one of the things that bothers me is, like, whenever there will be some event, like for example, whenever the Chiefs win
yeah.
at Walmart, then they'll do like a barbecue or something, and so everybody will be eating hot dogs. I'll just be eating whatever I'm eating, and then they're all doing their thing, and then I'm off of myself eating something different from them, and they all look at me with like, "Well, what's wrong with you?" And it's like,
No, that's because
No.
you're vegan.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of those
You
things.
need to throw that in there so people
Right.
know why you're eating.
Well, yeah,
something
see,
else.
that's one of those things is I have come to despise social events involving food because then it's like everybody, like, sometimes they'll even pick on me like, well, you need to eat some real food, Chastity. What's with your tofu? Like, and sometimes I just get really annoyed because it's like, it makes me just want to, well, forget lunch break. I just want to go back to work so I don't have to be around people.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how I feel because being around people makes me feel more alone because
It does.
because when I'm just by myself and I'm working or something, then I'm just left with my own thoughts and I'm fine. But
Yeah.
when I'm a crowd full of people, I hear the stuff they're saying and it gets me upset sometimes. And it's
You
like,
just want to walk away.
exactly,
It's like they don't know you're there.
yeah,
Yeah, we all kind of need to make up for what we all went through during COVID.
Yeah, COVID. I was wanting to be done.
Yeah.
This is.
Learn to get more connected somehow and make up for it. Because it's just been awful for everybody around the world.
It has.
It scared people, and then they were cut off from one another, and
You couldn't see anybody. Couldn't go anywhere. That made it even more worse. And you just wanted to die because you didn't know if things were going to get better
yeah.
or not. But eventually it did.
Yeah, hopelessness is a big factor.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have some kind of hope to hang on to get,
Yeah.
to get through and to survive.
yeah.
Be there for each other. Support each other.
Hmm.
Okay, does anybody have any more to say about this?
Well, thank you for joining us, Lauren.
You're welcome.
Finally.
I know.
We've been trying to get Lauren to join us for like a couple of months now.
Too long.
I know, and she's been trying, but everything happened to her, and it went
Yeah.
on and on and on.
I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I was getting really worried. She's never gotten that sick for so
No.
long. And so we're just glad she's better and that life is going to somehow get going again for her. And unfortunately, I won't be able to give her very many lessons until I get done with my surgery and rehab. But then we'll pick up like we always
Yep.
have. So,
And people with depression, don't tell them to snap out of it because they can't. Don't say that.
right. No way.
Oh,
Because
it's all in your head. You don't look depressed. Don't say that to them. They need someone to listen,
yeah.
not judge them.
And if they could snap out of it, they'd be glad
Yeah.
to snap out of it.
I
Nobody,
wish I could.
nobody wants to
heartbeat.
feel like that. It's horrible.
It is.
Oh, do you want to show show your gift that I gave you? Because she's a piano person. She's one of my piano students.
For 27 years.
And she decorates everything, piano and everything. So we're doing Christmas early since I'm going to be in the hospital and rehab throughout the holiday season. So I'm doing a lot of early Christmas stuff. So that's what I got for her. And I always try to get her piano-themed stuff because it really means a lot to her. And I know she decorates her room with it, so you can put that on your bed or somewhere.
Yeah.
And even since it's a little pillow, you can even lay your head on it once in a while. Anyway, so any more from you, Chastity?
I guess I can't really think of anything. I don't know. I feel like there should be something, but I don't know what.
Usually you come up with a joke at the end, and that's scary. We never know what you're going to say.
Yeah, well, I don't know what Steve and Bob are doing right now.
Not that again.
Or any questions for me you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you ask
Well,
one
yeah,
more?
actually, Lauren, like, are there any topics that lead you to depression, like things you're sad about that maybe I might be able to relate to, that we could talk about if you need something?
I know doing piano helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or maybe go for a walk, journaling, putting your phone away for a day,
Yeah.
which I need to do.
It's kind of hard because since I have to use my phone so much at work, it's kind of
Sometimes
hard.
it's hard.
It's hard because I would rather just not deal with it. I love when I have a night off and I can just turn my phone off and not deal with it. So.
Yeah, we were wanting to spend more time with Lauren, and now I'm going to be gone for a while, so life is a mess sometimes.
It is.
We keep trying, you just can't give up. You got to keep trying, and things will eventually come together. So, at least we have her here now.
Yeah.
So that's a big bright spot, and hopefully her story has been encouragement to other people out there so they know they're not alone.
Even though it may seem like it. And like I said, it's important for family, friends, teachers, co-workers to know the signs and symptoms of it so we can help each other out and really support each other. And listen. That's a big one.
Right. People just need to know somebody cares.
Yeah, even if we don't feel it, they do care.
Yeah. And they're just looking for any sign that anybody cares about them when they're in that condition. And I read a lot about, besides going through my own stuff with suicide, I read a lot about other things when I was getting ready to write my book about suicide. And one thing that really struck me, how people are just looking for anybody that shows they care. And one of the stories, there's a lot of people that ended up jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. And one of the stories is somebody wrote, they were heading down there, but they wrote a note. And they said, if anybody, while I'm walking there, will smile at me, then I won't do it. They just were looking for any sign that anybody out there cared about them. Apparently no one did, because they did end up jumping. And it's too bad that we're just barely able to try to hang on to anything. If we all showed each other how much we care more often, then people wouldn't have to guess or desperately look for the signs of love and care and friendship from other people, because people are so lonely.
Yeah.
And people just don't know who cares about them. And there may be lots of people that care, but if we don't show it, we don't tell them, we don't communicate,
then they think they don't care about us, so why am I even here?
Yeah.
But they do care.
So people feel cut off, and so that's important for us all to keep in mind, to help each other in that way, and to remember, no matter how bad we feel, there are people out there that care about us, and sometimes they're just not able to show us enough.
Yeah, that's
So a lot of times we have to take the first step and do the best we can. And on top of it all, one thing I've had to do a lot, I've had to pray, because sometimes in my life, God was all I had.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
So you just have to turn to God and pray. And then sometimes He'll lead people into your life that will help you, and He'll work through them to show you the love you need. So that's something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so are we done?
I guess so.
All right.
All right.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you're encouraged by all this.
Yes, I have loved you with an